Alright, so we got our GreenWorks 1500 PSI electric power washer we're going to review today. Right down here is everything that comes with it. You have the actual electric pump unit, inlet on the side, outlet in the front, the power wand handle, the nozzle attachment with quick disconnect feature, and also the soap dispenser, which actually plugs right into the handle. Comes with a 20-foot high pressure hose attachment, and we're going to see how that length works for us today. Basically everything is on the wand is quick disconnect, so it just slides right in. The hose is of course a pipe thread, and it's got O-rings on it and everything. I'd recommend putting a little bit of lubricant on those so that they don't get torn up or worn as much. The wand attachment, these go in at 90 degrees, twist and lock. So this one here, that's how it attaches. They recommend using Power Washer detergent. This is downstream. I'm not sure exactly what all is involved with having to use the pressure washer detergent as opposed to just regular car wash, since it's downstream, but that's what they recommend, so that's what I'm using today. One thing I wanted to point out is that the cord comes with a real nice GFI unit. As long as you're protected and everything's working correctly, that LED should be green right there. So resets the big button, and if you want to test it, the small button also. One thing I wanted to point out is the high pressure hose is plastic coated woven steel, and it's real important when you're taking it out of the package for the first time. It's coiled pretty tightly and it wants to stay in that shape, but don't force it. You're going to have to kind of let it unwind so that you don't kink any part of it, and that'll make it so that it lasts quite a bit longer. So you can see that the steel braided line wants to maintain its shape. So definitely take care and take your time and let it kind of unravel without putting any kind of a kink into it. Around a little bit to be able to get to the back side of the vehicle, but it's super light. I mean, you could literally, without even having to grasp it, just using your fingers, you can move the unit around, and it's got plenty of extension cord too, so you can actually go all the way around the car if you wanted. One thing I noticed about this is how smooth it is. Already just a couple minutes into the car wash, it's much less fatiguing than a gas unit with all the pulsation. You don't have all the noise of a gas unit. Now I'm going to switch over to the soap. Quick push and a turn. Push the soap on, boom, you're done. Okay, one thing I do want to point out kind of as a criticism, where I'm located we have incredibly high water pressure, and this collar here being plastic, the water does want to get around that collar. I think that in future they should probably make this a metal piece, just like the rest of the connections are. As I move it around, you're putting a lot of torque on that. Just be careful when you're moving it. Just to pull your hose along and not to try and move it back and forth, because I think that puts too much stress on that unit right there. Alright, so just a quick review of some of the stuff I've learned today after the first use. The hose could be a little bit longer. I think 25 feet for me is not quite long enough, but being an entry-level unit, I understand the length of it. It's easy to pick up the unit and move it around, so that's really not an issue. But you do want to be careful if you have a hose attached that you don't put too much torque on the side of the pump. I love the quick disconnect for the nozzles. On my gas units, I've never had that feature, so I've always had a little bit of corrosion behind there. Even though I drain out the wand, there's always something that ends up corrosion-wise inside the nozzle, and I have to take the nozzle off and clean it out. I definitely am sold. I've had gas-powered pressure washers for over 20 years now, and was very skeptical when I first got this unit, which GreenWorks did send to me for my honest review, and this is my honest opinion. It is a little bit cumbersome with the electric cord and the high pressure hose, so you got to keep them separated if you're going to be moving it around very much. I really wish I would have had this before I had my driveway sealed. Using the gas unit is just a pain. Very convenient, easy for the homeowner to use. Just plug it in, hook up your water, and you're ready to go. There's no oil changes, there's no filters, there's no gas to deal with. I'm sold, definitely. I think I will get rid of my last pressure washer and this will become my main unit. So GreenWorks 1500 PSI pressure washer, I'm already in love with it. Just got to be careful a little bit with hose connections and stuff like that.